This story is very meaningful. Everyone should hear it. Listen to Brian tell the story. My name is Amanda Parker, and I've spent most of my life proving people wrong, people who were supposed to be my family. I'm 25 now, married to Mark, the kindest man I've ever known, and we have a daughter, Lily, who's 3 and lights up every room she's in. I work as an account manager at a marketing firm, a job I clawed my way up to after years of grinding through college and part-time jobs. But my life wasn't always this steady, this full. There was a moment, 7 years ago, when everything I thought I knew about family and trust shattered. It was the day I graduated high school, the day my stepmom Sandra and my half-brother Ian stole my college fund and my future right out from under me. That betrayal still burns when I think about it, but what happened when they showed up at my house years later, begging for money, was the real gut punch. I stood there, staring at them on my front porch, their desperate faces a twisted mirror of the smug ones I'd known back then, and I felt something snap inside me. Here's how it all went down. It's a Saturday afternoon in 2025, and I'm pulling into my driveway after a long morning at the office, prepping for a big meeting on Monday. Mark and Lily are at the zoo with his parents, so the house is quiet. Too quiet, I realize, as I spot 2 figures standing awkwardly near my front door. My stomach drops. It's Sandra and Ian. I haven't seen them in years, not since that awkward run-in at the grocery store where they looked like they'd aged a decade overnight. Sandra's clutching her purse like it's a lifeline, her face tight with something I can't quite read. Nervousness? Shame? Ian's hands are shoved deep in his pockets, his shoulders hunched, avoiding my gaze. I step out of the car, my keys jangling in my hand, and I feel a rush of heat climb up my neck. What the hell are they doing here? "Amanda," Sandra says, her voice too bright, too rehearsed. "What a coincidence." She forces a smile, the same fake one she used to wear when she was about to drop a bomb on me. Ian gives a stiff nod, still not looking up. I don't buy her act for a second. "What are you doing here?" I ask, my tone flat, cutting through her pretense. She waves a hand like it's no big deal. "Oh, we just thought we'd drop by to catch up. It's been too long, don't you think?" Her words hang in the air, hollow. I cross my arms, staring her down, waiting for the real reason. She shifts her weight, the smile faltering, and I can see the cracks in her composure. "Amanda, sweetheart," she starts again, her voice dipping into that syrupy tone I've always hated. "We've been thinking about how proud your dad would be of you. You've done so well for yourself. Look at this beautiful house. You've really built something amazing." Her eyes flick to the 2-story home behind me, the one Mark and I worked our asses off to buy. I don't say anything, just let the silence stretch, heavy and uncomfortable. Ian clears his throat, finally meeting my gaze, and there's a flicker of something in his eyes, resentment, maybe, or desperation. "Yeah, what Sandra's saying is, we've hit a rough patch. Things haven't been easy, you know?" I feel my pulse quicken, a familiar heat creeping up my spine. I've heard this tone before, Sandra's fake sweetness, Ian's half-assed sincerity. It's the same game they played 7 years ago when they took everything from me. I shift my weight, clutching my keys tighter and tilt my head slightly. "A rough patch?" I say, my voice steady but edged with suspicion. "What kind of rough patch?" Sandra's smile wavers, and she glances at Ian, like she's annoyed he didn't ease into it better. "Well," she says, smoothing her hair with a shaky hand, "it's just been challenging. Ian's business didn't pan out the way we'd hoped, and I've had some unexpected expenses, medical stuff, you know how it is." She lets out a little laugh, like it's no big deal, but her eyes are darting everywhere except at me. Ian steps forward, his posture stiff, like he's forcing himself to play along. "Look, Amanda, we're not here to beg," he says, though his tone betrays him. There's a crack in his usual arrogance. "We just thought, since you're doing so well, you might, help us out a little, just to get us through this." I blink, letting his words sink in, and then I laugh, a sharp, bitter sound that surprises even me. "Help you out?" I repeat, my voice rising. "You're standing on my porch in front of the house I earned, asking me for money?" Sandra's face tightens, and she sighs, loud and dramatic. "Amanda, don't make this something it's not. We're not asking for a handout, just a little support. Family helps family, right?" "Family?" I shoot back, my hands trembling now. "You don't get to use that word with me, not after what you did." Ian's jaw clenches and he snaps. "That was years ago. We made a choice we thought was best, for everyone." "Best for who?" I fire back, stepping closer, my voice shaking with years of pent-up rage. For you and your stupid business? For Sandra's ego? Because it sure as hell wasn't best for me. Sandra puts a hand to her chest, feigning hurt. Amanda, you're being unfair. We're trying to mend things here, can't you see that? Before I can respond, a car door slams nearby, and I glance over to see my neighbor, Mrs. Carter, stepping out of her sleek hybrid SUV. She's a nosy retiree, always watering her lawn just to eavesdrop, and now she's craning her neck to watch us. Everything okay over there, Amanda? She calls, her voice carrying across the yard. I force a tight smile. Just fine, Mrs. Carter. Family stuff. She nods, but doesn't move, pretending to fiddle with her groceries. Great, now I've got an audience. Sandra seizes the moment, lowering her voice like we're conspirators. See? You don't want the neighbors talking, do you? Let's keep this civil. I roll my eyes. Civil? You lost that privilege when you stole my college fund. Ian groans, throwing his hands up. God, Amanda, let it go already. I tried to make something of myself, unlike you who just whined about it. My chest tightens, and I'm about to snap when another voice cuts through the tension. Amanda? What's going on? It's Tina, my best friend since high school, jogging up the driveway with a bag of takeout in her hand. Her dark hair is pulled back, and her eyes narrow as she spots Sandra and Ian. Oh, hell no, she mutters, loud enough for them to hear. What are these clowns doing here? Tina's always had my back, and she's never forgiven them for what they did. She plants herself next to me, glaring at Ian. Let me guess, you're broke and sniffing around for a handout? Ian's face flushes, and he snaps, Stay out of this, Tina. It's none of your business. It's my business when you mess with my girl, she fires back, stepping closer. Sandra tries to smooth things over, her voice rising. Tina, please, we're just talking. No need to escalate this. But Tina's not having it. Escalate? You two showing up uninvited is escalation. What's the scam this time? I put a hand on Tina's arm, grateful but not wanting this to spiral further. Not yet. They're asking for money, I say, my voice flat. Tina's jaw drops, and she laughs, loud and incredulous. Money? From Amanda? After you screwed her over? You've got some balls, Ian. Sandra bristles, her mask slipping. That's enough. We're not here to be insulted. Then why are you here? I demand, my patience gone. Because you saw me doing well and thought you could cash in? Because your golden boy's dreams crashed and burned? Ian's eyes flash and he steps toward me, his voice low and furious. You don't know what I've been through, Amanda. You think you're better than us because you've got this house and your perfect little life? I put everything into that business. Everything. You mean my money? I shout, my voice echoing off the porch. The money Dad left for me that you and Sandra decided was yours to play with, Mrs. Carter's still watching, her phone out now, probably recording, and I can feel the heat of her gaze, but I don't care anymore. This has been building for too long. Sandra grabs Ian's arm, pulling him back. Amanda, please, we're desperate. Ian's lost everything, and I've been sick. We wouldn't ask if we didn't need it. Her voice cracks, and for a split second I almost feel sorry for her. Almost. But then I remember her shrugging off my dreams, Ian's smirks, the years of being dismissed. You're desperate? I say, my voice cold. Try working 3 jobs and studying on a broken laptop while you're mocked by your own family. That's desperate. You don't get to waltz in here and demand my help. Tina nods, crossing her arms. You heard her. Get lost. Ian's face twists, and he lunges forward, jabbing a finger at me. You owe us, Amanda. We kept a roof over your head after Dad died. You'd have been on the street without us. I laugh, sharp and bitter. A roof? You mean the house Dad paid for? The one you lived in while I scraped by? Don't rewrite history, Ian. Sandra's eyes narrow, and she steps in, her voice dripping with venom. You're so selfish. We're family, and you're turning your back on us when we're at our lowest. Lowest? I echo, my voice rising again. You hit your lowest when you betrayed me. I've built this life without you, every brick, every dollar, and you don't get to touch it. Ian's about to retort when a new voice cuts in. Hey, what's all the yelling about? It's Jake, Mark's younger brother, pulling up in his beat-up truck. He's 22, a mechanic with a quick temper, and he hops out, eyeing Ian and Sandra like they're intruders, which they are. Amanda, you good? He asks, walking over, his boots crunching on the gravel. They're leaving, I say, my voice firm. Jake sizes Ian up, his fists clenching. They better. I don't like the vibe here. Ian scoffs, but there's a flicker of unease in his eyes. This isn't your fight, kid. It is if you're hassling my sister-in-law, Jake shoots back, stepping closer. Tina smirks. Looks like you're outnumbered, Ian. Maybe take the hint. Sandra grabs Ian's arm again, her face pale. Let's go, Ian, this isn't worth it. But Ian shakes her off, his pride flaring. No, I'm not leaving until she admits she's wrong. You think you're some big success, Amanda? You're nothing without us giving you a start. A start? I snap, my voice breaking with fury. You gave me nothing but grief. I worked my ass off while you blew my college fund on your stupid schemes. You don't get to claim my success. Jake steps between us, his voice low. Back off, man. Now. Ian hesitates, his chest heaving, then mutters, "Screw this," and storms toward their beat-up sedan parked on the street. Sandra lingers, her eyes locked on mine, and for a moment I see something raw, regret maybe, or fear. You'll regret this, Amanda, she says, her voice trembling. One day you'll need us. I haven't needed you in 7 years, I say, my tone ice cold. I won't start now. She flinches, then turns and follows Ian, her heels clicking unevenly on the pavement. I watch them climb into the car, the engine sputtering as they peel away, and I let out a shaky breath. Tina slings an arm around me, grinning. Damn, girl, you roasted them. I'm proud of you. Jake nods, relaxing. Mark's gonna love hearing about this. You sure you're okay? I manage a small smile, my heart still pounding. Yeah, thanks, guys. Mrs. Carter's still hovering, pretending to check her mail now, and I shake my head. Small-town drama at its finest. Inside, I collapse onto the couch, the adrenaline draining out of me. Tina plops down next to me, unpacking the takeout. Chinese, my favorite. So, she says, handing me a carton of lo mein, how long you think it'll take them to try again? I groan, stabbing at the noodles. Hopefully never, but with those two, who knows? Jake grabs a spring roll, leaning against the counter. If they show up again, just call me. I've got a wrench with Ian's name on it. I laugh, the tension easing, and for the first time all day I feel like I can breathe. That showdown wasn't the start of this mess, it was the boiling point of years of resentment. Rewind to 2018, my high school graduation. I was 18, buzzing with hope, standing in the courtyard with Tina, my cap slipping off my head. College is going to be epic, I told her, grinning. Dad's fund is going to get me there. She hugged me tight. You're going to slay it, Amanda. But then Sandra pulled me aside, her smile tight and fake, and dropped the bomb. The college fund won't be yours. Ian swaggered up, smirking. I'm starting a business. Dad would have wanted it this way. I yelled, I cried, but they didn't care. Tina dragged me away, promising we'd figure it out. But that night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling like my future had been stolen. The years after were a grind. I worked at a coffee shop dodging finicky A machines while Rico, my gruff manager, kept me sane. You're tougher than you look, he'd say, tossing me an extra shift. I juggled classes, bookstore gigs, and an internship, living on fumes and determination. Mark was there through it all, making me dinner when I stumbled home exhausted, holding me when I broke down after failing an exam. You're stronger than this, he'd whisper, and I'd cling to that belief. Sandra and Ian? They mocked me every chance they got. Thanksgiving 2021 was a low point, with Ian's buddy Greg laughing at my latte life while Sandra played the martyr. I walked out, Mark at my side, and swore I'd never let them break me. By 2023, I'd graduated, married Mark, and had Lily. My career took off, slowly but steadily. Ian's business crashed, Sandra's facade crumbled, and they faded from my life, until that grocery store run-in, their carts sparse while mine overflowed. Then came the calls, the texts, leading up to that porch confrontation. Now sitting with Tina and Jake, I realize something. I've won. Not because they're down, but because I'm free. Lily's laughter echoes in my head, Mark's steady love anchors me, and I know, no matter what Sandra and Ian throw my way next, I've already left them behind. Tina shoves a forkful of lo mein into her mouth, grinning at me across the coffee table. So, you think they're really gone for good this time? She asks, her voice muffled by noodles. I lean back on the couch, swirling my own carton of food, the smell of soy sauce and sesame oil filling the room. I hope so, I say, though there's a nagging doubt in my gut. Sandra and Ian have a way of slinking back when you least expect it, like weeds you can't quite kill. Jake, perched on the armrest, snorts. If they show up again, I'm not playing nice. I've got a toolbox full of solutions for punks like Ian. I crack a smile, picturing him chasing Ian off with a wrench, and for a moment, The weight of the day lifts. But that peace doesn't last. A few days later, I'm at the office, hunched over my desk, tweaking a presentation for a new client. A big one, the kind that could mean a raise if I nail it. My phone buzzes, and I glance at the screen. An unknown number. I ignore it, figuring it's spam, but it buzzes again, then again. Irritation prickles at me, and I swipe it open. "Hello?" I say, my tone sharp. There's a pause, then Sandra's voice low and shaky. "Amanda, don't hang up, please." My stomach twists, and I grip the phone tighter. "What do you want now?" I ask, keeping my voice low so my coworkers don't overhear. "It's Ian," she says, and there's a hitch in her breath, like she's been crying. He's in trouble. Real trouble." I roll my eyes, leaning back in my chair. "Let me guess, he blew through whatever money you had left and now he's got debts chasing him?" Silence on the other end, then a quiet, "Something like that." I laugh, short and bitter. "And you think I'm going to fix it? After everything?" Sandra's voice hardens. "He's your brother, Amanda. He got mixed up with some bad people, loan sharks. They're threatening him. Us. I didn't know who else to call." I pinch the bridge of my nose, feeling a headache coming on. "Sandra, this isn't my problem. Ian dug his own hole. Let him climb out of it." There's a rustling sound, and then Ian's voice cuts in, rough and angry. "You're such a cold bitch, you know that? I'm drowning here, and you're just sitting pretty, acting like you're above it all." My chest tightens, that old familiar sting of his words hitting me, but I shove it down. "You made your choices, Ian," I say, my voice steady despite the tremor in my hands. "You don't get to drag me into your mess now." "You'll regret this," he snarls, and I can hear Sandra in the background pleading with him to calm down. "When these guys come for me, they'll come for you too. You think they care whose family?" The line goes dead, and I sit there staring at the phone, my heart pounding. For a second, fear creeps in. What if he's right? What if his stupidity actually spills over into my life? But then I shake it off. He's bluffing, I tell myself. He's always been full of hot air. Still, I text Mark. "Ian's in trouble with loan sharks. Says it might affect us. Can you check with Jake?" Mark replies fast. "On it. Don't worry. We'll handle it." That night, I'm pacing the kitchen, Lily asleep upstairs, when Mark comes home with Jake in tow. "Talk to a buddy of mine who knows the underbelly around here," Jake says, cracking his knuckles. "Ian's in deep with some lowlife named Vinny, small-time thug, nothing big. They're not coming after you, Amanda. Ian's just scared and lashing out." Relief floods me, but it's tinged with something else. Disgust, maybe, or pity. "What's his plan?" I ask, pouring coffee for us. Mark shrugs, his face grim. "Probably hoping you'd bail him out. Sandra's been calling my phone too, leaving voicemails about family sticking together." I groan, sinking into a chair. "They're relentless." Jake smirks, sipping his coffee. "Yeah, well, they're screwed. Vinny's not the forgiving type. Heard he trashed Ian's car last week as a warning." I wince, imagining Ian's precious sedan smashed up, but I can't muster much sympathy. "Good," I mutter, and Mark raises an eyebrow. "You sure you're okay with this?" he asks, his hand resting on mine. I nod, squeezing his fingers. They made their bed. I'm done feeling guilty. A week later, the rumors start trickling in through Tina, who's got ears everywhere. "Girl, you won't believe this," she says over the phone, her voice buzzing with gossip. "Sandra's selling the house. Foreclosure notice came through. And Ian? He's hiding out somewhere, dodging Vinny's goons. Word is he tried to skip town and got caught." I lean against the counter, Lily coloring at the table nearby, and let out a long breath. "They're falling apart," I say, more to myself than her. Tina laughs. "Yep, and you're over here thriving. Karmic justice, baby." But it's not over yet. A few days later, I'm leaving the office when I spot a familiar figure lurking near my car. Ian. He's disheveled, his jacket torn, a bruise blooming on his cheek. My heart skips, not out of fear, but exhaustion. "Amanda," he says, his voice hoarse, stepping toward me. I hold up a hand, stopping him. "Don't. Whatever you're here for, the answer's no." His face twists, a mix of anger and desperation. "I just need a couple grand, just to get Vinny off my back. I'll pay you back, I swear." I stare at him, this shell of the cocky brother I once knew, and feel nothing but a dull ache. "No," I say simply, unlocking my car. "You're not my problem anymore." He grabs my arm, his grip tight, and for a second, I see the old Ian, the one who'd mock me without a second thought. You can't do this to me, he hisses. I'm your blood. I yank my arm free, my voice rising. Blood? You stopped being my family the day you stole my future. You're on your own, Ian. He staggers back, his eyes wild, and mutters, You'll pay for this, one way or another. I get in my car, slam the door, and drive off, my hands shaking on the wheel. In the rearview mirror, I see him standing there, a lone figure shrinking in the distance, and I know he's not done, but neither am I. Life keeps moving. I nail that client presentation, earning a bonus and a pat on the back from my boss. You're a star, Amanda, she says, and I smile, the praise warming me in a way Sandra's never could. Mark and I take Lily to the amusement park a month later, her laughter ringing out as she drags us to the roller coasters. It's a perfect day, cotton candy sticky on my fingers, the sun bright overhead, until I see him. Ian, pushing a mop bucket outside a restroom, his park uniform faded and stained. Our eyes meet, and shame floods his face. He turns and bolts, disappearing into the crowd, and I stand there, a strange mix of triumph and emptiness washing over me. Mark notices, his arm slipping around my waist. You okay? He asks, his voice soft. I nod, watching Lily wave from the carousel. Yeah, it's just closure, I guess. But it's not quite closed. Not yet. Tina texts me the next week. Sandra's in a shelter. Ian's missing. Some say he skipped town. Others say Vinny got him. I don't know what's true, and honestly, I don't care. They're ghosts now, haunting their own wreckage, while I've got a life that's mine, messy, hard-won, but mine. Here's the thing. Family isn't blood. It's the people who lift you up, not the ones who tear you down. Sandra and Ian taught me that the hard way, and I'm stronger for it. They're out there somewhere, drowning in the consequences of their choices, and I'm here, standing tall with Mark, Lily, Tina, Jake, my real family. Will they come back? Maybe. Life's unpredictable like that, but I've learned to fight my own battles, and I'll keep winning, no matter what they throw at me. So, what do you think? Have you ever had to cut someone out to build yourself up? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your stories. And if you're rooting for me, or even for Ian's next dumb move, hit that like button. This isn't the end, just a pause. Stick around. Life's got more twists coming.